Hey everyone, LEGO revealed 7 new sets for LEGO Marvel. So let's go ahead and take a peek at them in this video because honestly they all look really great. So let's go take a look at them in this video and see what I think. I'm going to start with the smaller sets like this 4 Plus set. This set's called Captain America vs. Thanos and it'll have 170 pieces for $40, which yeah, that's an insane price per piece ratio. And even looking at it, I don't know how they think this is $40. It's a 4 Plus set and those prices are always crazy, but I'm just never going to get used to it. It's just too off the wall. And I can't imagine any parent actually thinking this is better when it's sitting next to a normal set that's also like $40 or something. I don't know. If it were me, even if I had no idea about Lego, like just a random parent trying to buy a set for their kid, I'd look at the price tag and be like, what's going on here? Because it just doesn't make any sense and isn't worth it. This set doesn't have anything going for it either. The builds are kind of wacky and the minifigures are ones we've seen before. And something you'll notice as a theme throughout all these sets is the prices. It's always kind of a big conversation around Lego, but for these sets in particular, it feels really off, like way off, more than normal. I've gotten used to it to some degree, and Lego somewhat has just a higher dollar for their product. It just takes more to create. And so from that perspective, most of the time it's higher than you'd expect, but it's still in line with other sets. Whereas all these new ones seem to be really high for no reason. For example, this next one, the Iron Man and War Machine versus Hammer Drone set. It's a pretty small one with 204 pieces at $23, but that at least is somewhat in line with what we've seen. $23 though does still feel like a little too much. The builds are really small, and you only get 2 minifigures. On its own, I kind of like the set actually. Most people might not, but I find the builds kind of adorable. They've got a lot of cool little pieces too, and they're great little mock kits. And they look like they'd be great pickups for building mocks. However, that aside, based on the set itself, it just doesn't seem right. $23 for this? I don't know. It just feels off. It's not nearly as bad as the 4 Plus set. But again, I digress. Alright, let's break up all these bad sets. I was about to go talk about another bad one, but I want to talk about a good set before I get back into the bad. And this next good one is the Avengers Age of Ultron Quinjet. We've gotten tons of Quinjets throughout the past, so it's not too exciting, but this is a very good looking model. $130 for 1,113 pieces is close enough, and I think it's alright. The build size is okay too. Plus, it comes with this neat stand, which elevates the display value of this set infinitely. They really need to start including these on sets more, or maybe just integrating this kind of base, make it so it's applicable to more sets like from Star Wars and other ships and other themes, and then sell it on its own as its own accessory. I think that would be a great change up for LEGO and something that would work great, because then you would only need to buy a few, and you could have them displayed on your shelves, because you're only going to be able to ever display a few at a time. Whereas if you already have plenty of sets on display, you're going to be paying extra for this brick stand every time you buy a Marvel ship. It's just kind of something I've been thinking about and wanted to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this set in particular, but as for this set though as a whole, I do really like it. It seems to have all the features you want and be a pretty good playset as well as a beautiful display model. It's got a pretty solid minifigure lineup too, a bunch of the main ones from that movie. And I really like how they can be integrated into the stand. They're not just kind of on their own. Like with the Guardian ships, you'd always have the minifigures, but nothing really to do with them. So I'm glad they give you a way to display them here. That was a really nice touch. Again though, this model is just really good. If you haven't picked up a Quinjet yet, this looks like a great one to get. Alright, the next one I'm going to be kind of complaining about again because it's just another weird one. It's an Avengers Endgame set, which these have not been going good recently. And this is just another one in the pattern. For $55, you get 373 pieces and just a mess of minifigures and weird mech builds. A couple speeder things that are semi-neat. Fun to swoosh around and shoot those stealth shooters, but really, this set's just a mess. I almost wish LEGO would just stop making sets off the Endgame Final Battle, because every time they do, it just doesn't look good. I don't know. I definitely applaud this set though for having 4 Jatari soldiers included because that is something they haven't been doing. You haven't really had a big army to oppose your minifigures like you'd see in the movie when they fight the big Jatari army. So that is a very good plus of this set. And I will give them that. But it does just kind of feel like a hodgepodge of builds and minifigures, when really I think if this was just going to be a Chitauri Battle Pack, it would have been much better. Alright, we're going to get into the Spider-Man sets now, and I've been saving those for the end because they're the ones I'm most excited for. I'm a big Spider-Man guy, but these sets are also just easily the best of this batch. Let's start by looking at Peter Parker's apartment. This one's probably the most plain and the one I'm least excited for. I think it's a good set, it's just not as exciting as the others. This set's going to be $55 for 394 pieces, and I think it's okay. Again, it's overpriced a bit. Not totally egregious, but definitely worse than what we're used to. Anyway, though, what this set does have is a pretty nice build of Peter's apartment. There seem to be a lot of little details in there and enough space to play around in, which is nice because sometimes these half builds really cut it short and don't give you much of an interior at all. But here it looks like they did a pretty good job. And there's even some interactive elements. And I just think this set's a really fun, smaller build. That actually fits its price tag, at least a lot closer than some of the others we've already talked about. Moving on from that though, we have the big one of this wave, the Spider-Man vs. Oscorp set. That's kind of a weird name for it. I don't know why it'd be Spider-Man vs. Oscorp. I mean, I know who Green Goblin is and that he owns the company, but I don't know. It just seems like a weird name to me. It doesn't really matter, but something I just kind of noticed. For $140 though, and 808 pieces, I don't know. It does seem a little barren. I thought the build was really good until I saw the price tag. For that price tag, I definitely feel like there should have been a few more details, but it's not bad. I'm still pretty excited for it, but $140, that does seem like quite a bit. In this set, you'll see the back is a lot more plain than you'd like. There definitely seems to be some effort put into it. I mean, there's play features, but some of these floors literally have nothing on them. And that's really disappointing, especially when it's $140. But I digress. The outside, I'd say, is more important because that's the side you're going to see and put on display. And from that angle, I think it looks great. I was kind of hoping this would be a bigger set. Not necessarily as big as the Daily Bugle, but a little bit closer to that because this Oscorp tower does feel a little puny. I mean, the buildings right next to it that are like 2 stories are half its size. While I enjoy smaller sets and lower price tags, this is one I definitely feel should have been looked at a little closely and given a higher dollar treatment. The builds and minifigures all feel just a bit too simple. The minifigures are all mostly reused, a lot of them from the Daily Bugle. So in that regard, it's kind of lame and lets me down a little bit. The only part about this set that I really enjoy and was a great detail was the Eddie Brock minifigure with the Venom head. That was a great touch and probably the only thing about this set that I can really say was well done. Alright, finally we're to the big set from this wave, the one I'm most excited about because it's based off a really old theme. It's based off the original Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 2. It's the Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock subway train scene. I can't believe this set actually exists in 2025. I mean, it makes sense. I know this set's going to sell great. These movies are remembered so fondly for a reason, and that's because they were so good. So getting more sets on them would be great. Hopefully it's not just a one-off here, and more will come. We'll have to wait and see on that, but for now, I'm just ecstatic that we have even this set, and that they did such a good job with it. For $55, you just get the train car. It's 393 pieces, and it seems well enough worth it. Again, not quite the price I would expect, but it seems LEGO's doing some price increases recently. I mean, we know they're changing the Star Wars wave pricing, so these sets might have had that same kind of hit to them. Anyway, though, back to the build. The train car looks stellar, perfect recreation from the movie, but the really fun part is Spider-Man, Doc Ock, J. Jonah Jameson, and Aunt May. All 4 of them, just seeing them from the classic movie is awesome. And it's a great scene. I love how they included Peter on the front and gave extra rubble pieces to show that he's, trying to stop the train, even though no buildings were included. I'm sure people are going to buy the set and make a mock of it like right away. In fact, I actually would really like to. So we'll see how that goes, but just for nostalgia's sake, I think this is easily the set I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, objectively too, I think it is one of the better ones of this wave, piece to dollar wise and just quality. But yeah, overall, this wave I think has a lot of quality sets. I had some complaints in there, but that was always pretty much just related to the dollar amount. None of these sets I feel like quite live up to their price point, which is weird to say because I normally give LEGO a little more leeway than most. But maybe it's just me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these sets, if they're overpriced, and if you're going to get any of them. Let me know all that down in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.